back to kind of what we have saw with this format, it was utter chaos. And I feel like that has just been kind of the motto of operations when it comes to this format. You do have to focus on the initial battles that we did witness down in Tower of Babel. Maybe you'll have two teams that decide to spawn down there. Of course, the majority of the people will typically be on that northern side. And quite frankly, where the Royal Museum got pretty compacted on, right? But that's of course where we had seen the Mandel brick occur, and then you think of the decoding stations. But we don't have to worry about that, Goj, until map number 4.
Where are the Mandel bricks going to spawn? Can we prepare for that? All of those good things. But we're finally headed into Brackish, folks. Thank you for your patience, and looking forward to hopping into this map yet again. Really dynamic one, probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite, and excited to see how aggressive some of our teams get, Tiff. It's been fun to have a little yap session, but I'm ready to get into the game.
Same, honestly. I asked for early engagements. I asked for early fights. I got, you know, little tidbits of them before people decided to take a break and come back and let those engagements happen later. And as we kind of go through the fly-throughs of Brackish, some beautiful exterior shots as we kind of work our way up the tower. But it's time to get into it. Our first map on Brackish.
Here we go, folks. Looking forward to seeing what our teams are able to do. It looks like our first fight should be happening in the Tower of Babel as per the usual, but it might not just be between two teams. BTW, Grim Unity, going to be immediately engaging each other in the Tower of Babel. And it looks like FBWL might be sprinting towards that as well. Of course, our Boomers, who are the top of the leaderboard overall, they've got the north side of the map with Team Squidward, while SDLG, yet again, is kind of all alone taking the mid-map. So I think this fight down here in the Tower of Babel is going to be everything. Like I said right before we hopped into this, the fight here, if you win Tower of Babel, you're likely walking out with a crazy amount of loot. And you might even get out early if you're able to win it.
Ooh. Okay, Grim Unity here. You got the Viren. You got Toxic, and we just kind of laying off some of that information. Now, mind you, we all know that they're not going to get that mini map in here. So you really have to rely on your own resources. And look who's coming to play, FBWL. Now, what I have seen on so many of our Delta Force broadcasts are teams that like to camp on the outskirts of the tower themselves and wait and play off the engagements that occur, rip their loot apart for them. But look at this as Community on the other side of things, and FBWL, they're going to open it up.
Yeah, obviously caught sight of each other. This is going to actually be the first fight. I thought it was going to be BTW that'd get into the mix first. BTW's elected to take the highest position in the tower, go to the top first. Let the teams at the bottom potentially fight. FBWL does not like this engagement, so they're going to reapproach potentially from another angle instead of play down low. Grim Unity doing a lot of the same. Completely reapproaching this fight. They're going to send back in, find some cover, and play from a position where they think it's more favorable. They now know, hey, we've got a team above us, and we've got a team below us. We're the ones in the middle. Usually not where you want to be.
Definitely.
I'm wondering, Tiff, where they're going to go to try to make sure that's not the case. Do you try to wrap all the way around and play the other side of low?
I want to say you just take them down, right? Deny them the ability to get loot value going into the next Mandel brick round.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely
risky.
the right play. Yeah. It's just a matter of how do you address it. Decent loot there. Also, is this not the most classic Operations gameplay loop? Oh, shoot. We've got two teams close. We hear their footsteps. Let me check this crate, though, real quick. Oh, and we've got, wow. We found some nice loot. First red item already. FBWL making good use of that. I like it.
Keep it going. Keep looting. Look, sometimes you just got to be a little loot goblin. It is what it is, especially when you know it's going to come down to the tiebreaker if you don't find yourself getting a Mandel brick. Okay, open it up. Let's see what you get. Show me the goodies. Show me the goodies, Mr. Dio God.
I'm surprised FBWL is finding all of this loot. I mean, they came in latest. And again, another wine cup. This is solid. Good work from them so far.
Okay, all right. We're just going to keep on going through. No early fighting, just early looting. And, you know, sometimes I'm just going to have to be okay with it. 1.2 mil for FBWL. Boomers, on the other hand, elsewhere, netting themselves 2 mil.
Yeah, I think they hit the safes at the north side of the map and must have found some decent loot already. 2 mil for Boomers is a huge boon for a team that's already at the top of the leaderboard.
I love that we're just walking around, just protecting ourselves. We knew there were people here. You can't be too cautious as you make your way to your next area to loot.
This is me for real, for real.
Stop, Goj. You would do this.
You know how many times I've slow walked, peeked a corner, and my head leaves my body? Like, come on. Suniva operator goes crazy. Peak corner is a lot easier. BTW right below this team now. Should be hearing each other's footsteps. We're going to take a look at the north side of the map because the Boomers, yes, they might have found 2 million, but they also found a team. Team Squidward Boomers. They know each other are here. Maybe spotted each other for a moment in the window there.
All right. Here, a little bit of the shots coming through, and of course, some utility is going to make their way. Focusing back. D-Wolf here. You've got smokes, you've got triple blaster, we've got all of our things off cooldown, so I'm feeling content when it comes to that fight. But there's no reason to be hyper aggro here. Now, mind you, Boomers is the team at the top of the leaderboard. Would love to rip them down early, especially if they have 2 mil loot on them. And Squidward, well, sit at 0 for the game.
Yeah, I saw through our X-ray there. Blue Eagle, our helicopter, might start looking at this building here shortly. And Boomers, by the way, January, apparently according to production, found the IFV, which is worth 1.3 mil. So no wonder they got to 2 mil already.
Okay.
And that red item we saw with FBWL is that military information terminal, and that's worth 900K. So some solid loot so far.
Imagine if we just took him down and stole it and just had it all on one team. January here, though, playing the long game, keeping angles down the hallway, sing song. Just waiting to see. Will one of these players filter their way down into the line of sight for January?
Can I just say, North America, very patient by trade here. This does not look like Europe at all. Nobody willing to make a mistake. Nobody willing to swing corners. Even with Nox and Viren, and Suniva potentially to frontline, they just don't feel comfortable with this fight against Team Squidward. They're going to be hanging out here for a while. SDLG, by the way, while everybody's doing all this, we got 2 teams fighting in a building, basically not moving for a long time. SDLG, the other 3 teams are up in the Tower of Babel trying to figure out what loot they can find. SDLG is just hanging out in the mid-map. They've just been looting pretty much every building that's on the map, aside from this one and the Tower of Babel, and they're up to almost 2 mil themselves.
Look, that's typical. I love that for them. I mean, you got about a minute until that first air supply will drop into. Now, granted, that's going to be, I believe you either get the ballistic vest level 5 or a helmet. We have seen the helmet occur in the first, but now things are happening. Squidward, we lose out on Howls. Equal plays. Look, the setup that they had, they just had to make sure that they played the long game for the patience and nowhere. Still waiting in equal plays. Oh, Nox. Anytime you lock into the silent assault, this is where we want to see the plays come through. He knows he wants to see, will they hit the res, but you gotta hit the long wrap.
Yeah, and again, this is why you pick Nox. You're able to play these flanks like this. They've got player advantage, especially if they can prevent the revive. Apparently, patience truly is a virtue in operations because they were so patient, and then all of a sudden, Squidward finally made a mistake, losing 1. Nox blade hits, comes up the top, can't hit the shots, though, couldn't quite lock through the stairwell, and all of a sudden, yes, Team Squidward is in trouble, only 11 HP, but they do fully trade out 1. Boomers win the encounter, Boomers win the fight, and they get the revive, but that player is going to be on yellow timers, so if Equal does go down again, you will not be able to get him back up onto the map. A tough trade when you had advantage, but even still, a big win with a lot of loot exchanging hands.
Hey, at least they're able to preserve him here. But goodbye to Tsunami. There's the airdrop, and BTW are going to be... Oh, okay. A little fossil. A little vest. You love to see it. Oh, it's gonna cost you, though. Look who's back. SDLG.
They're always lurking in the corners. They're always around somewhere. And I guess this is the value of Suniva. This is now the second time we've seen a player with Suniva just kind of walk around out in the open, hoping their feet aren't too exposed to get shot. Gets to a position where Triple can sync back up with them. BTW at 1.8 mil right now. And the Boomers now looting. You saw them catapult up this leaderboard on the right-hand side because they're now at 3.6 mil and climbing after looting their opponents.
I love how we just see here utter. Like, the outside is just in utter shambles, and we're just like, all right, let's see what's going on. We knew the helicopter was nearby, and they're likely investing a lot of that in the neighboring buildings as people are still looking to rotate. But we are just, oh, it's fine. Let's just make sure we check every nook and cranny.
Does anybody else remember? I'm talking to chat right now. Does anybody else remember as BTW leaves the game, they go, hey, 1.8 mil is good enough for us. Let's get out, or at least one player. It does look like they actually stacked loot on Dorian, and he's going to get out with, I think it was 1.3 mil. So most of their loot that they had. A smart play. This is kind of a, let's hedge our bets to make sure that we get something for this map, and then the other two players can go play. I was going to say, does anybody else remember when the cordless drills went for like 800K because they were so hard to find and they were so useful for your black site when this game first came out? I think they're only like 20K now, so I don't think keeping that in your inventory for very long is going to matter in this competition, but still worth mentioning. Great item. Brings me back to the OG days.
The nostalgia.
Those things were expensive.
Okay, FBWL. 1.7 mil. Boomers are toggling here. I see them move to 4 to 3.9, so they've got some loot exchanging hands and kind of just working to figure out where they want to store everything. But I do love that BTW did invest one player to go ahead and get on out via the extract.
I mean, we got to pay attention to the left side. So we found there's the infantry fighting vehicle model. Found that one. Nice find nowhere. 1.3 mil. Nice play.
She's a beaut.
Stick that in the safe box and move on our merry way. Gonna get that 1.3 no matter what, so we take those.
All around the map. Proceed to search for items needed for the operation.
Ooh, BTW. They're like, oh, another airdrop? Don't mind if I do. Granted, I mean, through the rule book, we kind of know some of the things that may come out of this second airdrop in AWM ammo. Can't bring the weapon in, but you can get the ammo. Or no, you can't bring the ammo in. You can buy the weapon, and this is how you get the ammo. Look at me go. I'm out here trying to tease, but no. Let's say if you want to get crazy and buy the weapon, sure. But they're going to have the ammo.
Well, and I think that's the other thing. You know, sometimes I was calling like, oh, you could buy the AWM, bring it in, and then try to play for the airdrop and pick up the ammo. You can certainly do that. That's a little bit more high risk. Or you could just get the ammo, take it back to your stash, and instead of selling it, which it is worth quite a bit, take that Lapua ammo and stock an AWM in the next map and start one-tapping people. It is possible, but you got to get lucky. See what the RNG of BTW is. Again, I've got to tip my hat to these guys. BTW have been playing almost a different game from everybody else for the most part. So we can check out this loot. It's going to be pretty important. We get an AWM out of it. We got the gun and the ammo. 4 shots, no, 6 shots and a dream. 8 shots and counting. Show me 10. Bang. We got an AWM. We got 10 rounds of it as well. And I think the big question is, do you risk dying with this now? Or do you get out with it and use it in the Mandelbrick round? I know what I'm doing. I'm getting out with it. I'm dropping everything in my inventory if I have to. I'm doing no backpack extract. Don't care. Didn't ask. AWM, 10 rounds, get me out of the map.
Oh, triple.
Oh, did you see that? That was very quick. Tossed it in the garbage bin. Just to... Well, I think it's just to make sure nobody else can get it from them, and they can always come back for it if they get out of the map.
All right. We see you, BTW, being a little crafty. And you know what we also see? The Boomers out here. 3 kills ain't enough for them, but you know what? We could get 3 more. Oh, there it is. Get that information. You know what you're dealing with now. Let's go, Finn.
Everybody holding their breath. As slow paced as this game has been, this is about what we expected for a no Mandelbrick round. But there are only 6 minutes on the clock. But things are about to change here. We've got two teams hanging out inside of the Tower of Babel. Two teams fighting on the other side of the map. SDLG, they've been reaping the middle of the map for a long time. Trying to decide what they want. I think everybody watched Europe, Tiff, and just kind of decided, you know what? Can we just try to bump up our total assets so we've got at least something great going into a Mandelbrick round? Because some of these teams really messed up their strategies when they died in these, Mandelbrick rounds. And I know Team Squidward's got to be kicking themselves after a really tough fight.
Love that we're just going so incredibly patient here as we rotate away from the helicopter. There we go. A nice free cam shot will show everything that our players are dealing with. BTW out there on the right, SDLG on the left, and they're going to go ahead and smoke out, check the airdrop, but you're too late. The AWM is gone, and quite frankly, it's in the garbage can, okay?
Yeah, can I just say, I love this. I know some people are like, I want to see action. Don't worry. We had great action in some other maps. We're going to have some great action in the future ones. And SDLG is about to die to Blue Eagle. Going absolutely bonkers in the helicopter. Oh, that's brutal. Losing a ton of armor and having to... 1 HP in a dream, by the way. Having to heal back up here. But I love this look because it's so strategic. You can see how sweaty these players are right now. And how strategic they're trying to play. And it's so fun. And I mean this in the best way. I have nothing against this team. This is a really good team. But I love watching a team hit an airdrop and go, ah, dang, somebody got here first. Like, it's cool to watch from this side of the screen. I'm sure it's frustrating for them, though.
Okay, well, less than 4 minutes, right around there. We still have Grim Unity, Boomers, FBWL, SDLG, all three players up and in the lobby. BTW did send one out, and everyone's just kind of looking to see, hey, where are we actually going to get out of Brackish at? What is our course of action?
SDLG slow playing here. Expecting a few folks to maybe round the corner on them. Maybe checking the map as well. My big question is, what is BTW doing? I watched their loot value go up. Look at the right-hand side. Little nuance here. 3.5 mil between two. They picked the AWM back up with its 10 ammo. 100%. So they're probably going to try to get out with it, but I think they're going to have to fight for that. Could be something to watch out for. But both of these two teams are going to have to fight each other to get to extract point as well.
Okay, well, checking every angle that we possibly can, and look who's here. BTW. Imagine what they can find if they take out both of them. You go to loot their bodies, you're just having a casual day here on Brackish, no Mandelbrick, and you find what you think you find. Early shots go down. Look, he's literally one.
Yeah, that's crazy. One more shot hit, he's out of here. That can't be our AWM play. That Triple can't have the AWM on himself, right? I think he's running around out here trying to throw something in his safe box, and I think his teammate is the one, maybe with the AWM and the tin Lapua ammo. Nowhere off screen, by the way, wiping at least one member of Grim Unity. So another fight happening at the same time. Triple does not. Triple has an SMG 45 with blue ammo. Triple goes down. Honestly, nobody cares. Here's our AWM. BTW's already extracted one player. You got to remember that. They got out with like 1.3 mil, I want to say, with our one player that extracted. So right now, our last remaining player of BTW may go for a kill. And also might just try to get out with the AWM.
I mean, I would try to prioritize that as well. But for Boomers, I want more kills. I want more chaos. And FBWL, you're going to swing straight on it, find him out in the open. And man, didn't even stand a chance. Nowhere was like, nah, that was clean.
It's very clean. And that's also... It's a player for FBWL. Grim Unity, I think they got the revive off on their third. So you're going to see all three of their players still alive. At least according to our overlay. You can see them running around inside of Tower of Babel. Looks to be the case. For the Boomers, I mean, where are you getting out right now? I mean, you can get out if you have two of the dog tags. You could get out the top of the Tower of Babel, which they have 5 kills, so they absolutely could do that. They'd have to run through Grim Unity, though. They could probably send 2 players out if they picked up all the dog tags, which they should have. don't know. Final minute here. And this is maybe a fight. I mean, these kills are worth 150K. They're worth getting. And a fight happening on the outside. Grimmunity actually playing the flank. They've exited the Tower of Babel, and they're chasing FBWL. They are looking for kills right now. A nice find here from the low side. God is out of here, though, and that is going to be a full wipe. FBWL just couldn't get their footing and are going to be cut down. Grimmunity taking some shots actually on the boomers from distance and a AI sniper up on top of the roof. A little bit of everything, as it looks like our final BTW player with the AWM is not going to extract with it, is just going to try to get a couple kills as we grab some loot before we close this thing out. I don't think anybody's going to make it to extraction point at this point. It's just about finding anything that they can throw in their safe box that's worth some value so they can get something back to their lobby.
Talk about brutal. 19 seconds. All right, look for the safe boxes. What can we acquire as quick as humanly possible? You've already got a few things in there. You swap out the big item, throw some more ammo into it, and just do the best that you can.
5 seconds and counting. A wacky ending for everybody involved. BTW didn't feel like they could get their last player out. AWM.
But then we have the close race, the middle of the pack. FBWL and BTW, we know that it can come down to literal thousands of dollars in loot value when that happens. And quite frankly, this scoreline, too close for comfort for me. So I would love to see something big out of FBWL and BTW. SDLG, well, you've got about 14.67 because they've been really just focusing on their game. We saw what they did in that last map of Brackish, and it was just like, hey, let's not get involved. Let's stat pad like you were saying. But for boomers who do have that Mandel brick, if something goes, haywire and they don't close it out here in the fourth map and someone else goes ahead and grabs that Mandel brick, then you have to really start to worry because your total loot value is not going to be on par with what we're seeing for some of the other teams. And let's say SDLG grabs it, right? And they walk out with 5 mil in loot. You're situated going 1-for-1 on Mandel bricks, but you're going to lose the loot value race.
Yep. Yeah, that's such a great breakdown. It's so important to watch out for. We feel like the boomers are in a strong position because they are in the power position. They don't have to take this brick, but if they do, they win. So because of that, I think you're going to see some more fun and interesting strategies. They could try it again. They could pick it up. They could start the decode and run away as far as they can to get to a safe place and then come in for the third party. Who knows? I'm excited to see what happens. And I think totally, frankly, it comes down to some of the spawn points to see who picks it up first. Although there is a kind of refresh timer until somebody can pick it up. But congratulations, got a new MVP from a different team. Nowhere ends up picking 3 kills from that round and therefore is a round MVP winner. So has joined the race for the overall MVP of the competition and will be in the mix as one of the 3 different players. All 3 different round MVPs all earned 1 MVP thus far. So should be at the top of this category as well in the overall race to the overall MVP for $1,000. Because the tiebreaker is team placement. So Nowhere on top because his team is in first, and then the 2 BTW players technically right behind, all with 1 though. So whoever has the most round MVPs will be our overall MVP winner for $1,000 here, Tiff.
Ooh, well, love to see it. Hopefully we'll keep seeing the MVP race shaking it up. But granted, it could end in game number 4. This is where things get really intense, Goj, and everyone needs to pay a lot of attention. Let's go ahead. Let's jump